the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Memo akwaba sh0cks na medewaba Nsem-Pii TV ene enwubre. Na abusuya medebekọ na lawyer ni panyina wagidin ewo man konkon Ghana haye ensem a wode atudwa wososo watimu apakotie bi. Obekaya na wotwetwam ya the Attorney General of Ghana owura Dr. Ayine edi tudwa abra na Ghana Bar Association womo edi womo annual conference bi kache womo say the Ghana Bar is partisan na womo esan bias. Edi enti a wowura na woka asem no say eba ne sen na Madam Torkornoo nko ade President Mahama Pam no na Ghana Bar Association for kasa ho na adenti na Madam Charlotte say womo anka bibia fa ho abra na nadodan kwakofado epam no na Madam Lolita Lamte no ebrebe twam Mahama Preso na woye Sraj boss no ene so womo anka bibia fa ho na Ghana Bar Association ensem mo beto ho say womo kan say womo etale Madam Torkornoo achi na onsem mo kan say aban no empe anase emra no empe clear procedures anase kwan a yebefa so na yebetimu ayi obiadi or say article 416 like there's no proper procedure article 146 say Chief Justice be ediboni a yemfa we so na yemfa article 146 ankan clear eno no nsem na Ghana Bar Association champion na owura Ayine antie na wono de ototo obi ma no mo a enya asam ketua na lawyer Serbe aba ka asem bi akire owura Ayine o say owura me no nyaadwen Geopati no eto nchen na kasa se wo ye lawyer na nsem-paa no kan yi na kwanya mode Madam Torkornoo efa so no eni baabi abusuya yonko na wankasa kokoti free lawyer no ano abra na wo kyerem ranum na wo ka de emra no se paa ewo article 146 no ne ba Nsem-Pii TV yenetifo ebeto aso
se ene program na highlight kakra na wetie wo colleague Attorney General ne attacks against the bar who describe mo munye fair munye selective and honiama sad description no the ma bar no senior etiana and a bibi foforo. Is it a reality or is perception?
Look, me that say na mema one panel members na achi na ibia kan yeti for ni ahwefo nyina I think say sansem we are apie no Attorney General ekasai na wankasa in the vacuum okasai with respect to the removal of the Chief Justice na ne kasa mu no enhwesodie mienu. He cited the example of Madam Lamte Loretta, who happened to be the Sraj boss that was removed. And also cited Madam Charlotte Osei. Then, in coming to the removal of the Chief Justice, as someone Okaya, in fact, Meneno Enyadri, and I wasn't expecting him to make, they say, the Bar Association has found its voice with the opposition, that is the New Patriotic Party. Now, said the MPP, I think he could have even made his pronouncement, leaving that bit off. He is introducing politics into all these things. Now, so we as someone on defeated the conclusion or coming up with. Because the question will be, say, everybody, and Madam Loretta Lamte, ye ni free so aba no ankasa. That was when na onwana ban NDC na wo aban mu. Ye ni free so ba no ankasa. Charlotte say na omo opposition ye ni free so ba no ankasa. So how then does it draw the conclusion say it then means to say the bar is in support of the New Patriotic Party? That cannot be the case. And that from his own analysis at Oyeno, he himself was not fair to the bar. He could have made a statement without bringing in that aspect. Then we see the way forward. Now, I like the question that Ubisai finally say, two wrongs will never make a right. Therefore, we are building our democracy. we are improving by the day. We cannot say that simply because something happened in the past and nothing was said, even if we find it to be wrong, we should still continue with the process because it happened in the past and nobody spoke about it. And yeah, Nanka, your pronouncements in the past, no, because, for example, since 1960, that's the criminal code. Now the criminal act was into place. Share conduct. We knew all along say some offences were not bailable. From 1960, I think until 2015. Martin Pegu at the court, Emma Supreme Court said no, that aspect of the law is wrong. Emma ye free honum. So does it mean say the year from 1960, Serbe and Krani and woman, and Untiana Debbie. Democracy is growing, and one of the means by which we grow it is to correct the errors that we've committed in the past. There is nothing wrong if the GBA, for whatever reason, did not speak when NDC did it in power, did not speak when MPP did it in power, and now they are reconciling and saying, no, there is something that has to be done. Now, what is the GBA saying? Or what crime, if I should say, have they committed, for which reason in here the Attorney General of the land, Abekadi Ononake? All that GBA is saying is there should be procedure in place guide the implementation or the application of Article 146. That's a meaning, I don't know. And nobody can say there is a clear procedure guide 146. So if they come up to say there should be a clear procedure 146, so be a petition, and I say a petition against anybody who falls under Article 146 and also the clear mind say this is the procedure. For example, if you are sued in court, if you are going to the High Court, you have the High Court civil procedure rules. If it's a civil matter, I wouldn't even say court say any processes are befaso. If it is a criminal action, only procedure befaso from the day court up to the end. But in this instance, there is nothing like that. That is what the GBA is calling for. That there should be such a procedure. A typical example in this case, the courts will be to say they decided you're being used to High Court civil procedure rules, but at a point in time, that same rules, the chair or the president of the committee had every right say obey him now in a certain direction as he deemed fit. How can it be? So it means there is no clear procedure. That is all that the GBA is asking for. Now, Oshansua, it was a committee that was set up. And a committee is a choir of us in your man. Different from the way a court in your man. A committee does not go via the adversarial process. Only a fact-finding committee. They like committee of inquiry, committee of this, they are finding facts to determine Nsem-Pii yaka afa SMS ana obenten sanete ana entisa. But in this scenario, we've got a different thing altogether, whereby your friend is saying petitioner the respondents, lawyers were asked to cross-examine witnesses are by. So was it a fact-finding committee, as we know? And now say about Bedane a court are all the findings. So there are things that are well established. So for the body to call for proper rules and measures to be put in place, that's the argument is that they didn't speak in the past, and therefore they shouldn't speak now. There, then I think we are not ready to develop our democracy as a state or as a country. Because if you are ready to develop there, we should know we should be facing some of these things. And mind you, it is not the job or the responsibility of the Ghana Bar Association to implement or set up these procedures. It is up to the executive. Set up the procedures, push it through parliament. So that if I'm the Chief Justice, or if I'm within a judge at the Superior Court, any of the Superior Courts, I know that if there is an issue about Article 146, these are the procedures and these are the lines I did FM. In that way, even if I'm defending myself, I know how to defend myself and defend myself properly. And it's a bar association quality say yenga right processes such issues doc, I don't think say the response I receive from the Attorney General proper. To me, it's not proper.
DC enyano na wakasan na se ho no de politics by no nokware mi se wo se miwra se wo hwe sa 3 cases no lamted de no wo hwa politics na wo mu no both sides me kasa no 2 of the cases no happen under NDC na ba ko happen under MPP. And unti sa politics bi wo ma e wo mu de daw menye ni so no na we introduce e ma asem edikan na ne to so e bien e mra mo lawyers nti a nipa bi da so kura mo mene se ma anya de esan se mo na mo se mo mra kire se mo bo democracy ho ban no kware nso mo na mo yes adwuman na se mo na mo bo democracy ho ban na ade akoso ayeko ayeno efe na muri hu aka dia nene na mo principle amudi adwuma se mo a mota de president ya adwuma manya president baako manya bien munya baako na ebien azi mutume kasa na mo twen na mo komanim ansa na efe mu kasa munye ni se obi aka kasa o kase kire mu ze na Attorney General aka kire mu ya enfum so bi ani wo onfa politics bi amae ne dan
that's dog. Baby, America say or the politics abemuno. Matters they are political issues that name for him to make the statement to say the GBA no, it's like they are in bed with the new patriotic party. That is where my issue is, because matters there, whether we like it or they are political matters, that has to be discussed. And say making the point. And I want MPP because it's a very dangerous statement and make it, And my point is, and my position is, that dangerous statement now make it, It is not backed by the facts. One kasa present here, for which reason I am saying, he was too political with that statement. And when I best stretch it, at the end of the could say, and also as Minister for Justice, let's not forget, say. Onya Attorney General, he's also the Minister for Justice. What it means, they say, as I said, what she say, peri your ayejuma or minimum, no matter who is involved, even if the MPP chairman is involved, not say, the idea no, and yamra kwemwa, a Attorney General decision, and I said the responsibility. So make sure say, although so onya the party, or the peri your ebeyejuma. That is the point I'm making. So you cannot say, it drew MPP fraud so there, monya voice. It drew had there, monya voice. So should we also say on also statement to be key, it is just a mere campaign promise or making no more person fulfill and until all defend the NDC government at all costs, because the then candidate, now the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and making it clear, say Obere State Judiciary. Now, if we start from the top, and the top certainly is the Chief Justice, it will making a mind say, the TBI no everywhere. And he has to implement his manifesto or the buy. Will it be fair then to say, it was simply for them to satisfy the promise that they made whilst in opposition? If you make such comments, then you give room for such arguments. Say that is all. It's not because probably she's done anything beyond a certain limit, but it's simply because you have it in your mind. You have a job to keep. The president wants the woman removed, and that is exactly what you are doing. And therefore, you don't care where it falls. Even whilst people are making, the GBA is calling and making arguments. So let's have A, B, C in place. Now, you say what you want to. So say argument yes sir. Now to the precedents. Say yes, it did happen in the past. The GBA, I agree, is a going concern. So I will not say executives we new and they shouldn't be blamed in quotes like that. Make us say cite examples of places or one casa. And I made me cite example of place or Mokasa. I think the year 2020, no, it's 2024 bar conference. I should think so. One topical idea, a bar up when the sitting president Akufo-Addo was there presently. The bar association president disagreed with how the free education policy was being implemented. Do we then say as some of kind, it was in tandem with the argument of the NDC, and therefore the bar then was in bed with NDC? No, it cannot be said. So if he's making analogies and bringing things in, and that's our issues, because under the MPP's rule, the bar found its voice and they told the president, say it is not right for every child, irrespective of your ability to pay or not, giving free education. They stated it. It is a car and your man, Yanya fair. Now you say democracy and your building. We shouldn't just look at our partisan angles and say whatever we want to say just to please our party members and those who placed us in authority. No, the Enyan and Rano say Chamuko, Nasabi Chamuko Biu. Now for you who say, Adewe Enye, and Koya, Yan Secret Nianka, Nianfa the day and Toyi. And to me, dear, events happen 10 times in book. Not a certain precedents, not a Enya. The precedents we can always depart from it because it is a precedent that has been set by the GBA themselves. If that is the case, it has been set by they themselves, so they themselves can depart from it. And what I think we should look at is the wisdom behind the current decision that they've taken, and not just merely because they didn't speak in the past, for which reason they shouldn't speak now. As for that one there, Doc, I totally disagree.
Moshe mmara foforo wo ho ne ma namum me gye say ma se dem se mo kyerɛ se na mo adwuma ne tem mo kyerɛ se 146 mo di kankan a ebeye se enunti government una ye wadwuma hwɛ na nka mo nya nka no so menye ni se ye bɔne if statement fi mo ho se mo lawyers mo hu se 146 echewo yin books ma ebesen yen enunti abange Kamwasama, you did this and get young from Zoo.
Dog, I totally agree with you. Now, dear, say me nimna ebi a unsu nim ye. What might have gone on at the background before the GBA came up with its statement? Sana, Attorney General, so metene kasano. I thought likewise, now say these issues are adena on Attorney General no Ghana Bar Association entrance no monka and maybe that is what came into my mind. But I also asked myself that same question, say, hey, what if say on your matnase I can send me and the weeka and the ababi drua say empenny for some of these things will not be thrown out there in the public domain like it is happening now. Because it is not helping. It makes it look, say, between the GBA and then the Attorney General's department, the two, and it's not good for our democracy because the Attorney General has become the number one as far as lawyers of the land are concerned. And he himself is fighting the very institutions who are an association and also govern the law profession in the country, because you cannot, yes, you can choose not to be a member of the Ghana Bar Association, but the question is, can you practice as a lawyer if you are not a member of the Ghana Bar Association? Looking at how our Nyoma, your channel in our processes, it cannot work that way. For you to act as a lawyer and practice in Ghana as a lawyer, you should, in my fair opinion, be a member, because even when you are going to pay your subscription, you realize, say, until you pay the GBA, you cannot. It's a position that I don't subscribe to. I think it is not fair, but as things stands now, that is the process. And I believe, say, yes, it is true. Behind closed doors, as I say, and commodity, now some of these things are in the public domain, and now that the AG is aware of this matter, I believe, say, the presidency or the government should take steps so that we have proper measures in place. And Doc, I'm saying this, I'm stating it on record. You can disagree with the GBA for whatever reason, but you will see, say, because of what has happened in Parliament, the rules, processes, guide 146, and for that reason alone, anybody who is trying to say there is what GBA has done, it's like there is no reasoning in what they've done. They will say time will vindicate whatever the GBA is saying today, and 146 rules govern 146. So nobody should think, say, the GBA is being partisan, and it's like what the stance they took was unnecessary. These judgments, because these are dissenting opinions, are later on they will find themselves in our law and become laws. Nobody will tell me, say, 146, and yet the processes are not clear enough. If they are not clear enough, what should we do? Let's take the bold steps and do the needful. Maybe GBA did not do what is right, maybe by speaking with the Attorney General backdoor. Maybe, I don't know what happened. And if that is the case, I think they should have managed it well. And almost the bar out. So whatever the case may be, I am of the opinion, say there is wisdom in what GBA is saying, and we shouldn't just look at our partisan politics and colors, but we should pick out the wisdom in it. We implement it. Never mind politics, any governance, any democracy, in grow.